faults and failures. We all have our faults and failures. And but one thing at the end of my road, I don't want to think like, wow, I didn't set my goals high enough. I didn't set them high enough to take me to the next level. And that's what Mr. Tracy's done. He set his goals high enough. He's taken it to the next level. And the momentum they've created over in Houston, Texas is pretty much a phenomenon. And I'm just so honored to have him tonight. Carissa got him to be our guest tonight. Tracy, come on in, Mr. Fisher, and share your words of wisdom with this organization. You got people here from all over America, from Hawaii to, I think somebody here's from Puerto Rico.
Mr. Rusty, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Doc. Hey, how are you?
Hey, Tracy, man, I can hear you. It's great to have you on. And the excitement you have and the way your team is growing. I even heard them talking about you at corporate today.
Wow.
So that's exciting to know that we have another brother this many years in, setting the pace 20 years later, that you can come in and still set the pace. If you make up your mind, this is what we're going to do. So come on and give us all those words of wisdom and all that excitement you and your team's got.
You know what? It's an absolute pleasure, Carissa. Thank you so much for reaching out. Anytime I get a chance to share just certain things that I've learned in my career, which started well over 20 plus years ago, that I always get a chance to, I'm just thrilled. I'm absolutely thrilled, but I'm also humbled at the same time, Carissa. So I appreciate you, partner. If there's anything that I can say to any of our new partners, any of our seasoned partners that's on the platform, if this is your first opportunity, do me a favor real quick. If this is your first network marketing company, you've never been in network marketing before, do me a favor, just put number one in the chat for me real quick. Just chat number one. Yeah. Wow. If this is your second company, put number two in the chat real quick. It's your second one, put number two. I've tried something before, it didn't work out. So this is my second one, I'm giving it a run. Awesome, guys. Awesome. Guys, my career started, Mr. Rusty, back in 1997. I was with a telecommunications company. I joined that company when I was at the age of 25 years old. And I was a different 25-year-old. My wife and I, at that time, we were raising three children at the age of 25 years old, both of us. We were raising three kids. We have a blended family. And I was working in corporate America at that time. This was back in 1997. And but I was climbing the corporate ladder because I did everything that my mother told me to do. Tracy, go to school, stay out of trouble, make good grades. Well, at least two out of three in that deal, right? At least two out of three. But we did things that my parents told me to do: go to school and stay out of trouble and make decent grades. And then from there, went off to Texas Southern University. My wife was at the University of Houston and getting her accounting degree there over at the University of Houston. And then once we came out, I landed a job in the insurance profession. This was 1997. My wife, of course, she started with the Houston Rockets, 94, that championship year, 94, 95. Then she went on to Channel 2, which is a large television station right here in Houston. And so we were climbing the corporate ladder. And here's what I understand, guys, that emotion will stay in motion until it's interrupted by an outside force. And so that outside force for me just so happens to be one of my high school buddies who I played basketball with. He said, Tracy, listen, I want you to take a look at network marketing. He didn't say that, but he introduced me to my very first mentor, Mr. Rusty, my first mentor. This was back in 97. Went to lunch with that guy, and here's what I saw. I saw a young man in his mid 30s who had all the trappings of success, Miss Marianne. He had everything. He had his wife retired from working. He had all the, at that time, he was driving a very nice luxury vehicle. Um, he had just recently moved to Houston, Texas, and he was building an organization. So we went to lunch and we started to talk. And at that particular time is where I was introduced to my future. And to make a long story short, guys, I got involved with that telecommunications company at the age of 25. It took me about 2 years at that time, guys, to actually walk away from my corporate job at that time. We went on, my wife and I, to put thousands of people, tens of thousands of customers in that particular opportunity in the 90s, where There was no social media. Everything was belly to belly handshakes. That's all it was back then. And I thank God for those life lessons that we learned in that company. Um, but after an 8-year career with that company, we had to divorce the relationship. Some things happened, so we had to divorce it. And so, guys, we went on to our next opportunity. I want to fast forward my life because we've done some other things as well. Anything I've ever done, I've never lost money. I've gained valuable experiences and valuable friendships in every opportunity that I've ever been a part of. But it was September of 2018, as I fast forward this, it was September of 2018, Mr. Russell, when my wife and I, we were in a transition period from one health company, we were in a transition period. And I remember my sponsor, Mr. Jared Wilkins, who was the fastest presidential diamond in the company. He went presidential in 60 days, guys. And that's because of a lot of wisdom, a lot of experience, okay, in the profession. So he came to me in September. He said, Tracy, listen, I want you, if you don't mind, partner, I want you to take a trip with me, and I want you to take a look at something. Mr. Rusty, he never gave me the name of our company, It Works. He never gave me the name, but because I trusted Jared Wilkins and my wife and I, we were in a fog. Like, in other words, we didn't know where we were going. Like, we knew that we were not going to stay with our previous company. We knew that. We're like, you know what? This is not the right fit for us. Even though we were there for a couple of years, this is not the right fit. The way I determine my success is not how much money I make, but when I look around my organization, how much money are my leaders making? That to me is very, very important, guys. And so, make a long story short, I decided, my partner, to fly to the home office of It Works, even though I didn't know the name at that time. And so I had a chance to meet Mr. Mark Pentecost, went in his office, and we started to talk, guys, about just where the company had been after he moved the company from Michigan to Florida. Then, of course, we talked about the vision for the company in terms of diversifying the company. We talked about that, right? I was very direct with a lot of the questions that I had from Mr. Mark, and I had a chance to meet Mr. Mike Patillo. And when I met Miss Cami Pentecost, it was like game over. I mean, guys, I'm telling you, when I met Cami and just the culture of this company, right? Here I am. When I first went there, Mr. Rusty, here I'm thinking, It Works? The rap company? Oh no, I'm not gonna do the rap company. Like, no, I'm not gonna do this. I knew people were making money with this, but I feel like there was enough African American, especially men, that were making money with It Works. So I already said no until I met Mr. Mark, until I met Cami Pentecost, until I felt the culture. Guys, I'm telling you, sometimes you have to be around the right environment, be around the right people, right? And so that's what happened with me. We, in September of 2018, we said yes to this. Went back home along with my partner, Jared Wilkins, my business partner, Mr. Perry Beasley, attorney Conrail Brown, who's one of the diamonds in the company today. And we put our strategy and our game plan together. And guys, when we launched, it was like September the 18th when we launched 2018. We laid our foundation. I know for me personally, we laid our foundation. I think we sponsored like 13 or 14 people for the rest of September. So we laid the foundation. In the month of October is when we went diamond. November, we went double diamond. And December, one of the toughest months to build in network marketing because of what I was running away from, Natasha. I was running away from, I had to create a success story, Mr. Rusty, quickly. So we did like 147,000 in volume after the third month in the business. And I'm not saying there was nothing that I did. Guys, I'm telling you, I sponsored a person who sponsored another person who not only did I go triple, but they went triple the same time I went triple. You see what I'm saying? So it just, things started happening, and they were not with me in the other company, in my former company. This is somebody totally new that I knew from a previous company, but not the last company. So to make a long story short, guys, that's my story in the business. And so we went on to just to do some incredible things. I thank God for the power of residual income. Because like any business, Mr. Rusty, you always have ups, you have downs in business, but you have to know how to withstand even the down times of any business. You have to know that there are going to be people that's going to give up, Natasha. Even though they're with you today, they may not be with you tomorrow. And that's just all a part of business. And that's what happened with us as well. And so, but this has been a tremendous game changer for us. We feel, my wife and I, after 20 plus years of being in the profession, we are absolutely home with It Works. I love the challenge of being an anomaly, Mr. Rusty. That's why when I hear you talk, and I'm like, man, another guy. Finally, I get a chance to hear from another guy, right? Because this company is so different, guys. It's dominated by females. It is dominated by females. I have no problem with that. But being a male and a male-led organization, um, I feel very privileged to be a part of just the anomaly, just being a part of, because see, guys, I've been with companies where it was dominated, let's say, by one race of people. And then all of a sudden, I've seen another culture come into that company and just take over. I mean, it was like lights out, right? And so I feel very privileged being an African American male. My wife and I, watch this, guys. Today we have 5 children. My youngest is 18, 5 kids. We have 8 grandchildren. So the way that I build today is totally different than how I built 20 years ago. So we're learning a lot from It Works. I'm telling you guys, I've never learned so much, Carissa, about how to build online than what I'm learning now with It Works. And it is an absolute pleasure for me to be able, watch this, to give you things that I've done in the beginning of my career with It Works and what I'm learning and implementing and what's working for us today. Okay. And so that's what we're going to talk about. Mr. Russell, would you like for me to kind of go into some of the, okay, great deal. Guys, I want to talk to you real quick about, forget about everything that have taken place. Celebrate everything that has happened for each one of us in the month of June. Celebrate that. I don't care if you put 1 customer on the books, if you put 10 customers on the books, it doesn't matter. Celebrate that. Why? Because you need to have what I call a good emotion. That good emotion must lead us into the month of July. July is going to be incredible. Well, Mr. Fisher, how do you know? Because I just spoke it out of my mouth. Remember, everything happens twice in life. First the inner and then the outer. First the mental and then the physical. Everything happens twice. Think about this. The person that created the chair that you're sitting in, it first developed in their mind first. The table that you're sitting, that you're writing on, the pen that you're holding, in order for that pen to be developed, somebody had to think about it. So everything happens twice. So because you're saying, I'm going to have an incredible month of July, you just spoke that out of your mouth, right? And because you just spoke it out of your mouth, guess what's going to happen? There are molecules that happen in the air. In the atmosphere, there are certain molecules that happen. And those molecules begin to form up to what you just said out of your mouth. But Natasha, if you say, man, June was crappy, this is not going to be a good month for me. If you just say that, then guess what? The words that you just said, they are going to form into your reality. So I challenge each one of you. I challenge each one of you to make sure that you're saying the right things, right? And then when something negative comes out of your mouth in the entire month of July, right? In the entire month of July, you got to capture that negativity, capture that negative word that comes out of your mouth and begin to speak things positive. So in the beginning, right, there's something called squashing. I want you to write this down. I'm a squash limiting beliefs. So the limiting beliefs that I have, I'm going to squash that. Man, this is July. Everybody is on summer vacation. There's nobody looking for an opportunity right now. Nicole, that's hogwash. That's hogwash. There are people every single day. They're looking, they've been praying, they're sitting by a poolside with their children, and they're thinking, Lord, what are we going to do for Christmas? What are we going to do come the holiday season? You have to know that. So squash the limiting belief that you think that there are people that are not open to your opportunity, that there are people that are not open to the fact that you need more customers, right? Listen, I will say this to all of our partners as well. What a company that we have. Look at what our company is doing, Mr. Rusty. Not only do we have 50% off the BBK kits, but they've extended, ladies and gentlemen, Nicole, watch this. They've extended our $100. Do you understand that? Guys, do you know for a lot of companies, when a brand new person gets started in business, I want you to imagine this. When a brand new person gets started in business, a lot of companies don't pay $100 bonus up front just for acquiring a few customers. There's a lot of companies that don't do that. But for our company to do that, and Lord knows, I hope they leave this in the comp plan. My goodness, leave this part in the comp plan, which I'm not saying that they're going to do it or not, but hopefully they will. Because there's so many people, guys, that do you know, according to the IRS, Mr. Rusty, an extra $500 a month would have stopped 50% of bankruptcies that have happened in our country last year. Just an extra $500 a month. And guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to lay out a plan for you tonight to where you can cash flow an extra $500 easily without even sponsoring one person. Without sponsoring one person. I'm telling you guys, we can do this. So I want you to write this down real quick. Here are my tips. Here are my tips real quick for the month of July. Number two, watch this. Make the most of your summer travel. So let's say, for instance, you're getting ready to take the children and you guys are going to go vacation, right? Don't take a mental break. In other words, guys, don't go into what I call the It Works Secret Service just because you're on vacation. You can't, listen, we cannot go into the It Works Secret Service program, which means I'm not going to talk to anyone. I'm shutting my phone off. You can't do that. Because whatever you do in minimal, your organization, I don't care if you have 2 people on your team, 3 people on your team, if they see that you're slowing down at all, they're going to do in maximum. They're going to do in maximum, right? So make the most of your summer travel by doing this, passing out either business cards. Listen, my wife created these for me. Watch this. Are you living your best life? I don't know if you guys can see this. Are you living your best life? Watch this. Here's another question. Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to live a healthier lifestyle? Guys, if I give this out 3 to 5 times a day, have my products on one side and a business opportunity on the other side. If I'm sitting at a hotel, listen, 3 to 5 times a day is my goal on giving this out during the summer month. I'm telling you, because you never know, Mr. Rusty, who is going to accept this card and who's looking for something, right? So create a campaign where you're giving something out to people 3 to 5 times a day. Okay. So let me give you a question. Here are a few questions, guys. And if you're on vacation in the summer, let's just say you're sitting poolside. And let's say that Mr. Rusty is next to you, but you don't really know him yet. Here are 3 questions I want you to ask. Number 1, where are you from? Where are you from? What do you do for a living? And how long have you been doing it? Those are 3 what I call piquing interest, or what's opening up the conversation questions. Where are you from? What brings you to Florida? So if I'm vacationing with my family in Florida, or if we're on vacation in Denver, Colorado, or California, what brings you to the marketplace? Whether it's California, Florida, or Texas, what brings you here? What do you do for a living? How long have you been doing it? How long have you been doing it? Okay. Now, let's just say I'm meeting Mr. Rusty for the first time. He tells me his background. He tells me that he's from Florida, right? Here's the question that you can also ask Mr. Rusty. Watch this. Hey, listen, I'm expanding a business in Florida. I'm expanding a business in your home market. I don't want to go into a lot of the details right now, but is it okay that you and I exchange information? And we can pick up on this conversation later. See, I don't want to take him from his vacation to business, but I do want to exchange contact information for a later conversation. Okay, that's important, guys. I'm expanding the business wherever he's from. Well, Mr. Fisher, I don't really know anybody in California. That's why you're expanding out in California. You want him to be the leader for you in California. Guys, I'm telling you, networkers do this all the time. Networkers do this type of conversation all the time. Okay. The second thing, here's a tip for you guys. I want you to set a goal for yourself on how many customers are you going to acquire in the month of July. I was on the phone with one of my partners. She was getting a little frustrated for the month of June. And I asked her this question. I said, well, listen, let me ask you a question. What's your goal for the month of July in terms of customers? She said this. I didn't set a goal. Guys, listen, if you do not set a customer goal, Queenie, watch this. If you do not set a customer goal, that's almost like, it's like a ship in a harbor without a rudder, without a sail. You understand that? So guess what? If you set a goal for exactly how many customers you're going to acquire in the month of July, you're giving your mind a focus. And believe it or not, Natasha, your mind needs a focus. So if you say, you know what, my goal is to do 20 customers this month. That's my goal. Do 20 customers this month. And what's going to happen is, guys, watch this. Your mind is going to figure out a way. Natasha, your mind figure out a way to get you to that goal, even if you don't reach it. But what if you fall on 15? Did you have a great month? Yes. Yes. So remember, set goals. How many customers am I going to acquire this month? I'm so happy. I want you guys to write this down real quick. As you're setting your goal, I'm so happy and grateful right now. I'm so happy and grateful right now that I've acquired 20 customers, whatever your goal is, 10 customers this month. I'm so happy and grateful right now that I've acquired 10 customers, whatever your goal is for the month of July. I want you to feel that emotion behind that. Okay? So important. Another thing I recommend, guys, that when you're on vacation, let's say you're going on vacation with the family, make sure that you're adding extra product. Make sure that you're bringing samples to your vacation, right? If you have to purchase more product, do that. You're in business. I recommend the energy. We're in the summer months. I recommend hydrate, right? I recommend hydrate. Give things to people while you're sitting poolside. If you're meeting people, my wife and I were out today. Gave this and the energy to a young lady that we met today, which is the card and the keto energy. Okay. Bring samples everywhere you go, guys, and set a goal for yourself. Set a goal for yourself. If you have to do 2 to 3 a day, do 2 to 3 a day. Remember, I want you to remember this. Network marketing is nothing but a numbers game. That's it. Watch this statement. The man or woman who talks to enough people make the most money. If you talk to 0 people, you make $0. Okay? That's very simple. If you talk to enough people, Marianne, if you message enough people on social media, you're going to make more money than anyone else on the broadcast. It's very simple. Very simple. Here's another thing. During the summer month or during the month of July, in your local market, if there is any type of event, make sure that you get to that event. If there is any type of live event, make sure you can get yourself. Listen, I love Zoom. I do. I love Zoom. But the way I've built all of my career, it's being able to hug my people, being able to love on our people, being able to connect with our people. And so that's why, guys, if you know anyone in the Houston, Texas market, in Houston, July the 13th and 14th, we're going to have Miss Cammie Pentecost right here in Houston, Texas. If you go to the It Works website under the events tab, you should be able to see that event banner right there. So if you know anyone in Houston, right? Anyone in Houston, guys, build you an organization or a family right here in the Houston market. We're going to help you build with those people right here in Houston. My wife and I, we've been the leaders of what we call Team Houston. Right now, if you look at the city of Houston, there's roughly 3 to 4 million people right here in this market throughout the Houston Harris County area. This is a market that you want to get a piece of, if you will. Marianne, well, man, Mr. Fisher, I don't know anyone in Houston. Well, see, sometimes you have to ask family members, hey, mom, listen, who do we know in Houston? Hey, cousin, do we have a relative somewhere in the Houston area or in Texas? Find out who do you know in this market, okay? That is so important, all right? Now, another thing that I'll share with you, I heard a leader say this the other night, and that leader said, if you have to take a lot of time off, go ahead and do so for the month of July, if you have to. Guys, listen, it is so much easier to steer momentum than it is to start it back up again. Momentum is everything in our profession. So if I take a couple of days off, that's fine. To go and hang out with the kids, that's absolutely okay. But again, don't take the whole month of July off. Listen, that's a train wreck in your organization. That's a train wreck in your business. Let me pause and make a point real quick. July the 4th, my wife and I, along with my 2 daughters, we were tested for COVID, and we tested positive, Mr. Rusty, for COVID. This was something that was completely unexpected. My wife actually got it from her sister, who got it from her husband. And of course, it came to my family. Now, I'm very disgusted at this point, guys. This is July the 4th. So now we're in quarantine, Mr. Rusty, for 14 days. My wife going through a very, very bad cough. She still have the coughs today, but we've all tested negative today, right? But we're going through this quarantine part. Now watch this. I didn't know that was going to happen to us in the month of June. I set out my goals. I knew some things were going to take place, but I didn't know that part was going to happen. There was so much, Carissa, anxiety that was all through my girls and my family because we didn't know. We heard that people die and things happen with this disease or what have you. And so we didn't know what was going to happen. Thank God for Confianza. So guys, if you've never had Confianza before, that anti-stress, if you've never had it, I recommend Confianza. But we've had the immunity to build up our immune system, everything, guys. We were drowning ourselves in It Works products for those actually 12 days because we retested after our 12th day and it came back negative, right? So my point in saying that, guys, is that things are going to happen. My cousin, my first cousin, who was like a sister to me, Mr. Rusty, she was diagnosed with colon cancer, stage 2, all while I was going through the COVID situation. So things are going to take place, things are going to happen. But the one thing I love, Mr. Rusty, is that network marketing is a forgiving industry. It is a forgiving industry. Just because you didn't have the month that you expected in the month of June, it doesn't mean that's going to take place in the month of July. Right? And so that part is so very, very important, guys. Another point that I want to make real quick is this. A team that plays together will stay together. A team that plays together will stay together and ultimately work harder together. What I mean by that is this. In the month of July, there are people that's going to be out. You have to make sure, guys, that we're connecting with each other as much as you can. Things are opening back up. For those of you that are let's say you're in Hawaii and it's 3 or 4 of you, 5 of you, 10 of you, see if there's a way that everyone can come together. And whether it's a park situation, whether it's bowling, whether it's a picnic, something where everyone can come together. Why? Because in every organization, there must be camaraderie that's built. In every organization, there must be camaraderie that is built. Not just work, right? But it has to be camaraderie that's built as well. So right here in Houston, when Miss Cammie Pentecost come in, guess what, guys? We're having bowling night. Has nothing to do with business, but our guests will be welcome out for the bowling night. because we want them to know that we're a team. This is Team Houston. We're a family. That's what we want them to know. And that's what I want to make sure, guys, that every person on this broadcast, that you guys are doing that, that you're connecting and loving on the people. Listen, some of my top leaders that's a part of my team, Mr. Perry Beasley, guess what? He's a double diamond on the team, but I know his entire family. I know his children. Miss Stephanie Allen, she's a diamond in the team. I know her husband. We hang out together. Some of your closest business partners, some of your top leaders should be also some of your closest friends. That is so important. Network marketing, guys, is about relationship building. Relationship building. So here's what I want you guys to do as well. Watch this. Network marketing is nothing but a personal development system with a compensation plan that's attached to it. It works is nothing but a personal development system. So in the month of July, guys, if you can, if you will, here's another suggestion. Read at least 5 to 10 pages of a book this month. Because what happens is that sometimes negativity can creep in because you're not going fast enough. You're looking at Carissa and she's having all the success. You're looking at Mr. Rusty. You're looking at these other top leaders around you and they're having all success. And the enemy sometimes can seep in your mind and say, you see, Natasha, I told you it work was not for you. And what's going to get you through that is your personal development. It's your personal development, guys. Is what you're reading every single day. What are you training your mind every single day? Look at that. Look at Mr. Great minds think alike. Look at that. Right? So what are you reading every single day? That's important. Guys, I want you to imagine for a moment, if each one of us set a goal, because here's my goal. My goal this month, guys, is to not only acquire 20 customers. And how I'm going to acquire my 20 customers, 2 different ways. Number one, I'm going to smile and dial. And that's what I would highly recommend you do as well. There are people in your network. If you're brand new on the broadcast right now, I want you to do what we call lean on the relationship with your friends and family. Lean on that friendship. Hey, Natasha, I need you to do me a big favor. Listen, I've just launched the business. Natasha's my friend. Natasha, I just launched the business. We have people in our company that's losing a tremendous amount of weight. They're feeling great with these incredible products. Can I get you to do me a favor and just try any of the products out for just 90 days, and give me your positive feedback on it. See, that's smiling and dialing. That's asking a friend for a favor, leaning on that friendship, okay? And the second way we're gonna do it, guys, is through using boards as well as the host-to-post strategy, right? Which I know some of you guys, if you're brand new on the broadcast right now, if you're brand new, you may not know, man, what is host-to-post? What does that mean? Well, listen, just in a nutshell, listen to this very close. If you're brand new, welcome to the family. Welcome to the family. Listen, you are in for quite a ride, right? You're in for quite a ride. Watch this. Host-to-post is asking a friend or people on your social media pages, do they mind putting up a post for you on your behalf? They don't have to purchase any products, right? They don't have to do anything if they don't want to. But just do me a favor and just put up a post for me. If someone responds to the post, I'll go ahead and reach out to them. That's all it is, guys. It's asking social media friends to do you a favor and put up a post on their wall. That's all it is. Now, there are different techniques and strategies that you're going to learn from my partner, Ms. Carissa. There are different techniques and strategies that we also teach as well to our team as far as how to do it. I recommend that you also watch this, because as I was going through Triple Diamond in 90 days, I didn't have time to really call Mr. Wilkins, who hit presidential, by the way, in 60 days, because he was running, right? So I didn't have a lot of time to do that. So how did I learn the culture of It Works? It was 12 o'clock at night, Mr. Rusty, 1 o'clock in the morning on YouTube watching videos. Come on, Ms. Carissa, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's watching videos on, and back then we were not doing host to post. 2018, I was not doing a host to post. It was everything phone call for me, right? Now we're learning the technique and the strategy of host to post and utilizing boards. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. So here's the deal. So imagine setting your goal for 20 customers. By July the 31st, I'm happy and grateful that Tracy Fisher will have 20 customers on the books. Now, so the goal is 5 every single week for me. Watch this. That's an extra $100 bonus that the company pays Miss Marianne, right? Let me see who else do we have on the broadcast. Give me 1 second here. So extra $100. I see I have my business partner, Miss Stephanie Allen, who's been tearing these $100 bonuses up as well, right? So all of a sudden, the second month, that's another $100 bonus. Excuse me, the second week. Ms. Nella, the third week, there's an additional $100 bonus because you set your goal again for an additional 5. At the end of July the 31st, watch this. You've reached the goal. Imagine that. You've reached the goal. You've acquired 20 customers. That's an additional, Samantha, $400 that it works deposit on your pay card. Imagine that. What if you sponsored not one person, but your whole focus was to get your customers this month, 20 customers? That's an additional $400. Imagine this. So the minimum that a customer in terms of BV would be 25 points, 25 BV, right? So if you do 25 times 20 customers for the entire month, that's 500 BV points, 500, right? 15% of that, 15%, an extra $75 in residual income, extra $75 in residual. But look at what happened in the month of July. $475, let's just round it up to $500 you just created without sponsoring one person. That's your work ethic. That's you doing the smiling and dialing. That's you doing the host to post strategy, utilizing boards and every strategy and technique that you learn from a lot of our top leaders in the company. That's you doing that. And God forbid, Mr. Rusty, if you have the audacity, Coach Vivian, to sponsor 2 or 3 people this month at half off the BBK kits. Can you imagine what your business will look like in August, in September, and right before the holiday in October? See, I don't know about you guys, but my goal is to build my business because we're welcome to the second half of 2021. Forget about everything that took place in the first half. You may not like the first half, that's okay. But I want you to say to yourself, I'm happy and grateful now that in the month of July, I've had my biggest month in the business. In the month of July, I've had my biggest month in the business. So focus yourself, guys. Imagine July, August, September, right? And then October, this is the next 90 days. Remember, network marketing is in 90-day waves. Momentum is built in 90-day waves, right? Right before the holiday season. Right before the holiday season. So again, Mr. Rusty, I love our company. I love what our company is doing with these incredible bonuses that they put in place. I absolutely love it. And I cannot wait to celebrate every one of you guys that's listening to my voice, that's getting ready to rank up to the next level. Even if you do nothing like I said, but just get your 20 customers. That's going to be very powerful. Mr. Rusty, back to you, sir.
This is amazing, Tracy. The one thing I love about the culture of It Works Global, you heard him say it, he's been with us just since 2018. It's one team, one mission. He said family 3 different times in this conversation. We're all one family. We all work together. And see, and what he's telling you is when we all work together, I don't care who's down, we're cousins at a family reunion. I don't care who his sponsor is. Just because Mark Pentecost is my sponsor, that doesn't mean that we all aren't cousins. That's where the origin or the origination came from. But here's what he just told you. He's building you and it creates solvency in our opportunity. It creates solvency in the company. It gives you the unlimited potential to go out if you're willing to live up to your unlimited potential and take these little bitty nuggets that he just gave you, that just apply those. And see, I followed up with a lady today. She just become a customer, and it was a 20-second follow-up I did, dripped on her for the last 5 weeks. How you doing? Good morning. And she said, I've been so busy. I've been so busy. Thank you for caring about me enough to continually stay with me because I need what you got. So that thing they put in your, I ain't gonna harass nobody, or I'm not gonna be spammy. That's not the way it is. Right now, people need to know that you care about them. The consistency is that I care about them. And when you get them, the reason we've been in business so long, Miss Lackey and I, is because we continue to take care of all these customers all these years. We still build relationships with them. Hey, what can I do to help you change? Guess what? It's happening now in my business. Lots of referrals are coming in from other people that have developed a product story. The biggest story you will ever develop is your product story. And when you develop that product story, you're no longer a salesperson, you're a sharesman. You become a professional share of your story. See, take this pen right now. This is what he told you. Right now, you have the ability to start rewrite your comeback story. Let July be the month of our comeback stories. Let July, we're going to take this pen and I'm going to write the most audacious ending of a movie that you've ever seen, because this movie is called My Life. I will no longer allow somebody else to take my pen and write the ending to my life. I'm writing the comeback story, and July is going to be the month. He just gave you a specific finite plan of action to go out and just gather customers and offer something of value to other people that will, when you change their physical well-being, everything about their life begins to change. Now, here's why. Because during the course of my tenure here, in the second year, y'all all know I got really sick. In the next 4 years, I gained up to 750 pounds. They called time on me. Because of this product line, I am alive today. It ain't nobody else's product line that done it. It's this one. See, if we don't make it, I don't take it. I've not had a medication in my body in going on 15 years, not even an aspirin for a headache. And so when you get to the point that that you see the value in taking care of you, now you're beginning to take care of your family. You're beginning to take care of your organization. You're creating solvency in a company. You create solvency. It creates that generational wealth. It creates that generational legendary legacy. That's what Mr. Tracy told you tonight. And he gave you point by point by point exactly what you need to do. Carissa, you got anything you need to ask Mr. Tracy before we go? All right, Mr. Tracy, thank you so much. I'm gonna have one of my Houston teams. I'm getting in touch with them to let them know that you got